All right, have we got Knowles? Bring him on. There he is.
Hey.
Nice shirt. Jeez.
Oh, this old thing?
Yeah, they're
Stop it.
so
Come
much.
on.
They're so much nicer to you than they are to me. They don't even give me a shirt. They just give me a jacket to cover up my T-shirt.
I gotta say, this shirt is actually just a product of my poker winnings from Saturday night.
Yeah, I'd like to talk to you about those poker winnings. Some of
people
those
on Twitter and Instagram may have seen Drew and I played poker on Saturday night. He brought over a bottle of wine that said, "You can't coexist with people who want to kill you." We had a nice time. We had a few drinks. But I cleaned house, I'm very proud to say.
You did. You know, I have to say, and I'm not making excuses here, but it really is true. I wrote that piece for City Journal, and I was exhausted because I also I'm putting together the book of Another Kingdom, and I did that. And I came over and I thought, it's so nice to just sit with friends and just have a couple of glasses of wine. Oh, you took all my money.
Where'd my wallet go? Wait a second.
I was relaxing. You were a shark. And you played brilliantly, and you pulled 4 6s. I mean,
that is true.
It's not like you beat me with like a bluff. You put 4 6s are pretty good hand. All right, you bum.
It is, speaking of Another Kingdom, by the way.
Yes.
That episode 12 is out, which means there's only one more left.
One more left. I know, we're done. We're done.
And then my Hollywood career is over. So you've got to go. If you ever want to catch any of it, you got to go check out Another Kingdom.
I am pitching this again. It's already been turned down by people who have declared themselves part of the resistance. They did. After the Golden Globes, the people I pitched it to said we're part of the resistance. So I thought, what chance did I ever have? I'm going to pitch this again. So I hope people will show up because it makes such a difference because I can turn in the room. I can turn to the page. They're almost like 1,700 5-star reviews now, 5-star ratings. And it makes such a big difference in a pitch because it shows them that it already works.
It's really helpful. It is really helpful when people go over there. I said it on my show on Thursday. Nothing would please me more in the new year than to shove a fork right in Hollywood's eye. So if you go over, it'd be really helpful.
It's funny because it's not that conservative, but it's just enough to make them real in their seats.
It's just not leftist.
Yeah.
It's just not ideologically on the left.
Yeah.
So that makes it. And by the way, I can't believe that you're defending Joseph Stalin, the Stalin in the White House.
I think we should leave Trump out as the middleman and just go right to defending Joseph Stalin, a communist, killed 20 million people. Starved 20 million people to death, and that's kind of like Donald Trump, who's kind of rude, right?
This is Flake's law. Any anti-Trump conservative, if given enough time, will ultimately compare him to the murderous Soviet dictator.
I mean, they've been doing this since he took office. Because he can't be constrained by their system of manners, they have to destroy him, and they just throw fake scandal after fake scandal at him.
I loved your piece. I really loved your City Journal piece. And it was occurring to me, I thought, the government is shrinking. The government is getting more free. I'm getting more free. I get to keep more of my tax money. We're on better footing on foreign policy. Why do I care about all these things? So I compiled a list. I found 17 major scandals. These are according to all of the mainstream papers, according to Wikipedia, according to all of the compilations. These are the biggest scandals from the Trump presidency.
17 of them.
So there are 17 of them.
Okay.
You judge for yourself if this is sufficient reason to imperil our freedom agenda. So the first one, obviously, there's the big Russia collusion, which Dianne Feinstein said there's no evidence of, and Van Jones called a nothing burger. Right. That's the big one. Then on January 27th, President Trump expanded Obama-era travel restrictions from countries such as Iran, Iraq, and Libya and Syria. On January 30th, President Trump fired an Obama-era holdover deputy attorney general for refusing to do her job. On February 2nd...
This is a scandal.
These are the big scandals. These took up multiple days of headlines. These are big enough that on CNN and the New York Times and Wikipedia, all left-wing outlets, they consider these the complete list of scandals. On February 2nd, Kellyanne Conway referred to the arrest of 2 Iraqi terrorists as a massacre, even though it wasn't a massacre, it was an arrest of terrorists. On February 12th, Jeff Sessions fired some Obama-era U.S. attorneys, totally in keeping with transition tradition.
Right.
On March 4th, Donald Trump tweeted that Barack Obama surveilled his staff during the 2016 campaign, and then CNN later admitted that they had indeed done just that, but for some reason that was a big scandal. On May 9th, President Trump fired James Comey. This was the big one. And Democrat Chuck Schumer, the Senate Minority Leader, announced months earlier, "I do not have confidence in Comey any longer."
Right.
But apparently this was a big scandal. Everyone on both parties wanted him
And
fired.
he serves at the president's pleasure, right? I mean, he has absolute right to fire.
He serves at the president's pleasure, and everybody in the government wanted him fired, including Hillary Clinton.
Yes,
by the way.
sure, because he ruined her career. Yeah.
So that's the really big one. On June 1st, we withdrew from the Paris Climate Accord, even though everyone agreed it would do nothing to help the environment. On August 15th, President Trump responded to the Charlottesville protest that included white nationalists and Antifa by condemning hatred, bigotry, and violence on many sides, later adding racism is evil and those who cause violence in its name are criminals and thugs, including the KKK, neo-Nazis, white supremacists, and other hate groups that are repugnant to everything we hold dear as Americans. Finally, he said not all of those people were neo-Nazis because some peaceful, non-racist demonstrators simply opposed statue-toppling leftists who wanted to change history. That is in the top 3 of the biggest things. He said racism is evil, and these people are antithetical to American ideals.
And the trick they use is they make a big fuss about it, and maybe 4 days later somebody looks at the transcript and says he didn't say that. But by then they're already simply referring to it. They're just saying Charlottesville. You know, they just use it as
his awful remarks.
Terrible remarks. And you look back and you say, he didn't actually say anything bad there,
If you look at everything he said, you get a clear picture of the situation. But listen, that would be for journalists to do. That's not for CNN and the New York Times. These are really bad ones. On August 16th, he disbanded the American Manufacturing Advisory Council. On August 16th, he also disbanded the Strategic and Policy Forum because its members were protesting the administration. Then, a couple days later, the Committee on the Arts and the Humanities. How will our government function, by the way, without the President's Committee on the Arts and the Humanities?
He's killing Big Bird, right? Yeah. Whenever they go after this, it's always he's killing Big Bird.
Yeah, Trump fired Big Bird.
Like Big Bird, meanwhile, is smoking a cigar. He said, I get the HBO bucks now, buddy. I don't need my government
I'm out of
money.
this government. That was a big one. On August 25th, President Trump pardoned Sheriff Joe Arpaio for misdemeanor contempt of court. The injustice. Our government's falling apart. On September 29th, HHS Director Tom Price resigned because he used slightly too much money on private jets. On October 3rd, President Trump compared Hurricane Maria to Hurricane Katrina, and he was subsequently blamed because the Puerto Rican government squandered all of the relief money. Okay. On December 6th, President Trump announced that the U.S. would formally recognize the capital of Israel as the capital of Israel, and he wouldn't back down.
Now, wait, is that a scandal? That's listed. Where is that listed as a scandal?
Yeah, it's listed on Wikipedia, and it's the controversy is across the mainstream media because what you might have forgotten is that a bunch of anti-Semites and the United Nations, but I repeat myself, condemn the United States for that action.
Wow, that's a scandal, huh? If I forget the O Jerusalem, like it's been the capital of Israel since the Bible days, and that's a scandal that he said that. Wow.
I thought it was St. Louis. I thought St. Louis was the capital of Israel, but
St. Louis, Jerusalem. I can't remember.
I'm learning history in this administration. And then the final one. This was really bad. President Trump, just a few days ago, disbanded the Presidential Advisory Commission on Election Integrity because a lot of states wouldn't turn over their electoral information. There you have it. There are all of the scandals, all of the major scandals, according to every mainstream news source and Wikipedia and all of the online watchdogs and fact checkers. For which of those scandals would you imperil the most ruthlessly effective pro-freedom agenda in recent American history?
It's an excellent point. First of all, as you were listing them, I was listening very carefully. I could hear a couple in there where I might say, oh, well, maybe he made a misstep here, a misstep there. Whatever. But the atmosphere of scandal that they have managed to create by this, and I was talking about this morning in my opening, when you turn on CNN, you go on, their lips are trembling and their eyes are filling with tears. And you sit there and go like, what do I care if Alison Camerata is crying? Well, it's like, go home, Alison. If you can't sit and deliver the news and tell us what's happening in the world without crying, there's no crying in news.
There's no crying in news.
But they managed to create this crisis atmosphere that something is terribly wrong, and nothing's terribly wrong. In fact, things are going quite well.
I mean, these are so minor. Like 4 of those were random White House advisory boards of rich people disbanding.
Right.
And compare it to Barack Obama. Compare the level of scandal to Barack Obama, who regularly and egregiously lied to the American people, in one case to upend a sixth of the economy, who lied about major terrorist attacks that killed our ambassadors, who lied about gun running across the Mexican border, it was, to borrow a phrase, an empire of lies in the Obama administration. But of course, that's scandal-free Obama, no drama Obama. And in the meantime, Donald Trump, just in the first year, has cut the federal bureaucracy massively. HHS by 0.5%, even defense by over 1%, transportation 1.5%, justice 1.5%, energy 2.5%, commerce 3%, housing and urban development 3%, on and on and on, all the way up to Treasury, which has been cut by 7.5%. Under Barack Obama, Treasury increased because he was using the IRS to spy on conservatives and harass them.
It is all about this. It is all about the establishing of the power of government, which is the power of the elites, which are these people who are doing this. But it's also about the fact that he undercuts their authority to decree what is racist and what is sexist and what is bad and what is good. I mean, they have taken that authority on themselves. That's what all the crying is about, and all the trembling lips. It's like, we know through our emotions that a dead Syrian child is more important than a dead unborn baby. You know, we can tell you this because we cry about the Syrian child, but we don't cry about that. And that's how you know what's right and wrong. And it's just Trump shatters all that because he doesn't care. You know, one of the things is Trump said yesterday, he said, I'm probably the least racist president you've ever interviewed. I think that look, everybody has racism in them and all this stuff. That's what makes this whole thing so bad, this whole technique so evil. But the fact is, what he really thinks about is money. He thinks about money. He feels, I mean, blacks now have a better employment record than they've had for, I think, 20 years. And Trump thinks, like, what do you want? Everything else is on you. You know, you have a job. Now go make your life. You know, it's just not his job to make you feel good about yourself.
His statement is probably true because he most likely thinks about race the least of any president.
I think that's right.
In recent memory.
Yeah. Did you, did I hear that some people were actually blaming him for the fact that some bonehead pressed the nuclear warning button in Hawaii? That was Trump's fault somehow?
Well, of course that was Trump's fault. Stalin. He has a lot of control over this government. This was amazing. If you missed this news item, everybody was blaming Trump. So Jamie Lee Curtis was blaming Trump.
And she survived Halloween, so she must know something.
Yeah, it's true. She survived like 10 times, I think. She survived it a whole lot. I saw like Halloween H2O. They cut off the guy's head. He still came back for another movie. Yeah, she says, this Hawaii missile scare is on you, Mr. Trump. The real fear that you can tell they're serious, by the way, when they randomly capitalize words.
Yes.
That's how you know they've thought
and their
about
serious
it.
faces.
It's on your arrogance, your hubris, narcissism, rage, ego, immaturity, and your unstable idiocy. You know, if you want to make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and be the change. I mean, there's a lot of projection going on here.
Hawaii's a Democrat state, right? I mean, why is this Trump's fault?
Of course, Hawaii. There are like 3 Republicans in all of Hawaii. And Jim Carrey tweeted, he said, I woke up this morning in Hawaii with 10 minutes to live. It was a false alarm. But if we allow this one-man Gomorrah and his corrupt Congress to continue alienating the world, we're heading for suffering beyond all imagination.
Oh my! Well, if Jim Carrey says so, it must be true. That's all I can say.
Because these guys, they're pretty good at saying words that other people wrote for them convincingly. So I think they can analyze geopolitics.
They're a breakdown in evolution, I think, because evolution has made us trust our eyes, and they all look so attractive, and and they look like they know what they're talking about, but they just don't. I mean,
that is true. You got to listen a little bit too.
Yeah, I know. You got to listen to. What's on the Michael Knowles show today?
The Michael Knowles show today is about our hellhole culture. I won't use the word it's on, but it's talking about race. And whether or not Haiti is a very nice place to live or not, and just examining what Donald Trump, how he stacks up to Barack Obama on these questions, what it matters for American freedom and America as a country and prosperity, and why we can't blame the culture all on President Covfefe. We're mistaking cause and effect here, folks.
Michael Knowles, that was a great segment, really good. I appreciate it, and listen to the show. It's coming on after this.
That's right.
All right, I'll see you later. And give me back my money.